track to lyrics. Yeah, I guess you gotta make plans to break them. One look at your face and I was down bad, way past inhibition. I can feel your echo through the space that once was hollow, filling every corner of my mind. Told you this was temporary, didn't I? But you changed my mind like the weather when I saw you wearing my sweatshirt. Told myself I wasn't ready, terrified. Thought I'd be alone forever, but now we're alone together. Hyperfixated, hyperventilated. I see nothing but you when we're alone together.
Hello, welcome to Wednesday Night Sprints, which is not normal for my channel, but that's what we're doing tonight. Hi, welcome. It's July. It's not Amazing Readathon anymore.
No. And we're both sad and glad for that.
Exactly. It's nice to have a little bit more of a chill month, although I don't know what the meaning of that word is, so I still have a ridiculous amount of things to do.
You've heard my conversations about what I'm going to be doing. I also decided to add a 72-hour little readathon that I'm going to do just by myself this weekend.
Sounds like so much fun.
Why would I calm down?
Sounds like so much fun. I will not be joining with you in that because my niece is getting married this weekend. So
Yes,
it's gonna be a busy weekend.
yeah. I'm gonna try and read as much as I can in 72 hours, and it's gonna be a vlog.
Nice
Content.
The things we do for the content.
Yeah. YouTube had some really great ideas, but I was like, these would be great videos for my channel if I didn't already have what I'm reading. Like I can't. I need prep time for these.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. So, anyways, I'm trying to do a couple things tonight. I need to edit. And I would like to read 50% of Goddess Found, which is one of my Spiffbo books.
okay.
So whether or not, I don't know I don't have to work tomorrow, which is nice. So both of those things will happen at some point tonight. I don't know if it'll be on the sprint or not.
Yeah. God, that sounds like one of those books where, that sounds like you find in the Christian fiction or the inspirational nonfiction section.
No, definitely not. I'm pretty sure it's. I don't actually know. I haven't started it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's like the Bachelor. It's giving Selection vibes so far.
Sorry, you said God is found or something else?
Goddess.
Okay, never mind. I heard that incredibly wrong.
Yeah, it's giving Selection vibes so far, at least from the synopsis.
Okay.
So.
I mean, you can only go up from the selection, so
I like
who enjoyed it.
I like that series. I think the weirdest ones were like the 4th and 5th book in that series.
I haven't read those yet. I read the first 3, ate them up, and upon looking back, I'm like, I understand why people shit on this series all the time, but I had a good time.
Yeah, but it was like the heyday of YA dystopian.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
And I feel like that whole girl gets plucked out to be someone's kind of the not Beauty and the Beast. There's a specific the Cinderella type fairy tale was really popular at that time as well.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
The makeover and all of that stuff.
But yeah, I liked even everybody shits on the 4th and 5th book in that series because it's the second generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they weren't good, but they were fun.
A book does not have to be good to be fun.
Exactly. Oh, also, I'm rereading Their Cruel Prince next month. Which I thought you should know.
Okay.
Well, that whole series. I'm just gonna binge it.
I feel like I knew this already.
We may have talked about it.
We may have talked about this.
It works. If it works for House of Wings, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you said that we get bonus points if we read
do
it.
get bonus points.
We get bonus points.
Yes. What are you doing tonight?
What am I doing tonight? I wrote it down so I wouldn't have to think about it. I need to do food prep because I got a bunch of chicken and like meat that needs to go in the freezer. But after that, I'm going to be working on getting my to-doist for July set up, so I'll actually have something to keep me on track, and finishing up my bullet journal.
I did that when I should have been working today.
I was on Twitter when I should have been doing that, but that's fine.
And then I used Todoist for my actual work too, so like even if it's up on my screen, people don't think I'm not doing work.
Yeah, as long as they don't stop and like start reading it, you're fine.
Exactly. And my desk is like in the corner, so like you can glance at it, but like the odds of you actually being able to read it, slim to none. Yeah. But that's what they get for making me come into work on a day that I normally work from home, when I had 3 things to do, and it would have been an easy, quick, done by noon day.
Rude of them.
I know. They were like, "Well, since you have the rest of the week off, can you come in on Wednesday?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?"
Buddy, come on, buddy.
Anyways, are you reading?
I might pull out the Whispering. Well, yeah, I'll probably pull out the Whispering Dark while I'm getting everything set up, and all of that good stuff. But
based on the amount of books that you have on your TBR this month, I would recommend it.
I mean, listen, I only committed to 4 of them.
Well,
okay, yeah, you're right. Well, no, because I don't get to start those books until the end of the month. I have a full. I looked at the
right, which means that you need to be with your other ones.
I looked at the weeks of July.
Sure. Hello. Reading Reckless or Private Rights by Julia Armfield. Nice. Obsessed with both of them. That's a good way to start the month off. I started out with a 2-star and a 3-star. So we're doing really well this month so far.
I mean,
we started out with a Spiffbo book that started out as a detective mystery, and then somehow the Garden of Eden is run by a Fae gardener. Don't know how we got there, but that was that. I've been doing it all day. It's fine. It's not early when you've had conversations all day.
Actually, I don't think, have we talked today? We have talked today. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyways, and then I had a romance that did not handle no contact with parents very well, I don't think.
Ooh. That's always so hard because, like,
well, it was
shit on you so much for that already.
Well, it's not even that it wasn't handled well. I think it was handled in a way that author probably handled his own no contact with parents, but the parent dies, and then immediately, rather than like actually having like conflicting emotions, he's just all of a sudden like distraught. And I was like, I would probably have more conflicting emotions. But it was like the second to the last chapter, and I'm like, we need to deconstruct this a little bit more. Yeah,
and it takes people so often. It takes people so much to get to the point where they're okay, like they're able to, like, they're like, okay, you know what, I'm cutting you guys off, like no more.
Well, I mean, they start in the book already with no contact, but then like the parent dies, and that there was just no. It was just like it was as if they had never been no contact.
Yeah, my mom has a friend that or an older woman at our church. She's the weirdo that kind of got my mom started in the Trump cult, the cult of Trump. You get what I'm saying. And like her daughter lives in Lake Wales or something and does not come down to see her mom. And like it's so funny because they're like blaming it on the daughter's husband, or my mom does, and I'm just like, having known this woman, having been there when she preached sermons and talked to people in the church, I wouldn't be surprised if the daughter just doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to deal with her mom, doesn't want to talk to her, and like you're letting her take advantage of you.
Right.
Like it's great that you're taking care of her, but yeah.
Hello, Bri. Going to be starting When in Rome. I've heard good things about this one. Very casually, the mid-year scramble.
Yeah. You're doing the chillest of chill readathons. It's the mid-year scramble. Your only goal is to just, or the only task you are given is to just refocus on your reading goals.
And honestly, if I couldn't make content out of it, I probably would have just like hung out in the sprints, but not actually done anything. Like if there was any type of actual prompt, like
yeah.
I was like, I just need to make content this month. I need to remind YouTube that I exist outside of the readathon.
The prompts are just there to get you thinking. Like they're there if you need them, throw them out if you don't. Or this year I have a thing that like so many people are making their own like prompt boards, and that's so like I'm talking about this. This is so cool.
Yeah. Hello, welcome. Currently recovering from a very buddy work day. Ooh, gotta people all day. Ew.
Disgusting.
Also for some reason the dogs think that there's something going on outside when there was 100% not. So if you hear them bark, that is why.
There's no one there.
Hello, Nikki, working on Air of Fire, trying to decide what I'm making for supper. Nice. Yes, it's less Christian.
Yeah.
It's the I am tired and the Texas came out for a minute. No idea how I have energy after Amazing Readathon, but on book 3 of the month. Wow. I guess technically I am too. But they both of them have been like 200 and something pages. So
I could be if I wanted to be.
Yeah. Going to be reading Midnight Sun. Fun. Currently reading my first ever manga.
Ooh, that's such a good one too.
Hello. Going to be reading The Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. I love these titles. I know in my heart of hearts that this is not a book series for me, but I just absolutely love the titles.
I want to read them because the author is like so just fantastic. She was like, every time you tell me my titles are too long, another word gets added to the next title.
Love it.
Like that's such good energy.
Love it. But Midnight Sun to complete the series. I read it right after it came out. It is a time. That is all I will say. Been meaning to catch spreads. No, I didn't. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen either this month or next month. My thought process is I'm gonna read one because I need to finish both of the Carissa Broadman. Okay. I originally put Ashes on my TBR for this month, although it would give me bonus points next month. However, I think I will give 5 stars to Mother of Death and Dawn. So that's why it's originally going to be on my August TBR. But we'll see. One of them will happen this month. One of them will happen next month.
Mm-hmm.
What is a book? What is reading? Don't know. Listen,
Caitlin, you go so hard when it comes to reading. Like, absolutely take a break, man.
The only reason I am not doing that is because I
need content.
I have to get Smithbo done.
Yeah.
Like Mel is announcing her semifinalist like in a week and a half or something like that. I'm like, I've read one book and it's definitely not the semifinalist.
That's so funny.
I have 9 more to go. Let's do this. Only 2 of them have an audiobook and they're both Audible originals or Audible exclusive, so I have to use a credit for them.
Yeah, and it's an indie author, so like you'd feel bad returning it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
one of them I actually was able to use like actual money because if you downloaded it on Kindle Unlimited, then it let me buy it, for
purchase
like $6,
it,
which is fine. And it was it's like the 500-page one, so like at least there's that. The other one is my books are not like super long either, so like that's good.
Yeah,
I did not get selected the 900-page one that does not have an audiobook.
God bless you.
I swear that one better not make my finalist. First book of the month is Great Gatsby. Good luck with this one, Jess. I will. It's a steamy lit author. 50% in, and it's crazy. It's Edward's. No, Edward's head is a scary place to be. Is actually, I think, the word you were looking for.
Like from what I heard, she made it worse.
She made it so much worse.
And I'm
You're
like,
it's kind of cute when a teenage girl thinks it's, that he's just watching you. When you're actually in the head of the man who is not a teenager, it's weird.
like, yeah.
DNF'd God Killer this morning. Same, Beth. I can do all the traveling. Also, I need to read a novel love story. That's like the tentatively on my TBR for this month because I'd like to read it before Stevie. Do I own it? No. Did you read this one?
I have. I liked it. I haven't gone on to the second one because of what I've heard about the second one. Like people who loved the second one were like, no.
Well, the third one apparently just came out.
Yeah, I saw her running around on a TikTok about it.
I saw it on Barnes & Noble last week.
I thought
this was a duology. This came out and was really popular before I was reading fantasy, so I just never got on board the hype train.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have the first book, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it just from what I've heard.
Yeah. I'm going to be reading Columbine by Dave Cullen. Nice. Ooh, the Poppy War. That's a good one. There's a read along going on, I think, on Nicole's channel right now, and I was like, man, if I didn't have so much to do right now, I would definitely reread that. Yes, Team Wings. Finished the second book in June. Took me literally a year to read because it's going to ruin romantasy. I've also heard that it's less like the last one is less romantasy. But yeah, it's been a while since I think I finished the second one in September or October? ? I just know it's going to be perfect. Read the first time I got book when they were in the process of getting picked up, so I had to wait for the rest and then forgot about them. Yeah, I just think it's too cozy and quirky for me. I think is that's going to be my issue with it. Reading Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Bayron. Nice. I've heard good things about that one, but I have actually not read anything by her other than a short story. Reading Survive the Night have been since December. Not my favorite by him. But, if you already don't like it, the ending is going to piss you off.
You might get a good rant out of it.
You'll get a great rant out of it. That one's like a very bingeable story, and then at the end you're like, what did I just read?
I read that if you guys were wondering the horrified look on my face, it was me watching this comment come in and reading it.
Reading Happy Place.
Nice.
Let me know how you like it. Have the first book of Children of Blood and Bone. The second was abysmal. So now it's well, that's sad. The third one is Unhinged. Fun. Hello, Miva. Surplus flesh is not a description that meshes well with sensuous. No, not at all. Not at all. All right. Should we do some sprints?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's be productive. I think we should try being productive tonight. We
should try being productive. I'm gonna go cut up some chicken.
Cool. Well, we're gonna do 45 minutes sprints tonight. So I'll see you in 45. Hello, welcome back. Margaret says she's going to be like 5 minutes late, so we will just chat. I am at 9% of Goddess Found. Goddess Found. There we go. I also went and put comfy clothes on because I got home from work like 15 minutes before I needed to do sprints. So yeah. I don't really have any thoughts on said book yet because it's 9% in. So there's that. But it's less confusing than the first one was. So that's a win. But how did you guys do? Also, I'm loving the conversation that we had about The Great Gatsby in this chat. Yes, surplus flesh is what needed to be changed. Women are not meat on a butcher's block. Also refers to the same woman. Thickish figure of a woman. Listen, there was a lot of fat phobia going on back then. A lot of it. Add that to the racism and the domestic abuse. Why are you reading this book is the question. Is it for your book club where you watch the movie and then you read the book? Because you guys pick some really bad ones for that. You should pick like Hunger Games. Also, the dogs are going to start barking because Derek just got home. So just so you know, if I mute myself for a second, that is why. Not envy. Been meaning to reread it for years. Yeah, I just like it's one of those things that like I read it in high school and I would like to just live with that memory and I don't have to worry about I don't need to reread it as an adult. Read about 25 pages of Air of Fire. Cooked supper. Did you decide what you were having for supper? I mean, I imagine since you cooked it. Hello, Lexi. Decided to start Devil's Gun by Kat Rambo. Got 49 pages. Nice. How did your sprint go?
Dinner's in the oven.
Nice.
And the meat is in the freezer. That's what I had to like. I was like, hey, I've got to finish wrapping this stuff before I can put it in the freezer.
Fair enough.
Because that's like 100. No, it's like 100 ounces of meat that I just like shoved in the freezer.
That's a lot.
I want that to get frostbitten.
No, not so much. Doesn't taste nearly as good.
Does not.
Got to page 370 for Practical Rules for Cursed Witches. An arc I got this week. Fun. 48 pages read. Fantastic. Gives me cozy vibes, but a clear plot. That's important. Up to 12% now. Very nice. Working on my quarterly wrap up and math ain't mathing. That's a tomorrow problem. I feel like June just kind of messed with everybody's numbers. Also May, if you were doing Escape. And so books probably gotten forgotten about. Honestly, the fact, I don't know. I'm filming my June wrap up this weekend and I don't know. There's probably going to be a lot of, this was a fever dream and I don't actually remember reading this. Here's the vlog where apparently I read it. Made it to 16% of the binding, updated the vlog, started taking notes for a video idea. Fun. I also need to start on this project that I have.
Yeah.
And I have 17 days to read 3 books. It's fine. It's fine. One of them is only a 7-hour audiobook. It's fine.
That's fine.
Almost 50% into book number 3. Probably super late. No, we just did our first sprint. I don't sprint every Wednesday. I am experimenting with it. It used to be Monday. I don't really know. We're just experimenting.
You're playing around with it.
July is very much a do whatever I want to do month. Because June was so crazy and then August is going to be Babylon. So then there's also going to be a lot of sprints for that. So I don't really have I don't have a schedule. That's all that to say.
Yeah.
I sprint sometimes. The best way is to hit the notification bell, because then you'll get a notification when I go live. That's the best way to do that. Gatsby local indie bookstores club. Okay. The discussions will be good. We'll be reading Glow of the Everflame tonight. I need to start this series. Not going to happen this month, but maybe in August. I'm going to read a lot of romantasy next month.
Yeah.
15% through my audiobook. It just works so well. Like, there's so many romantasy books that will work with the Wings bonus prompt. That, like, yeah, I have a lot that I could read.
Derek's home. Oh, this is going to take that.
This is going to get annoying for a minute. Derek just got
fine.
That makes it a little bit better anyways.
Yeah.
But not really. Yeah. Started making dinner on the grill. Ooh, halfway done. The sky went dark and it started pouring. Oh no.
Well, it's threatening right now.
There is not a cloud in the sky here. So
my clouds are currently purple. Lavender, if you want to be specific.
Yeah, there's not a single cloud. But the weather's not supposed to be terrible until Sunday. Like tomorrow, I think the high is supposed to be like 86, which will be great for barbecuing and also like the parade. So that's nice. I mean, the parade's early enough and I get to sit on my front porch because it literally goes down our street.
Yeah.
So like there's like a whole bunch of like lawn chairs that are literally like in our front yard right now, or like on the sidewalk of the front yard. And I'm just like, we don't have to worry about that. I just like open the door, put my little deck chair out. Hi. Went with Polish dogs and rice roni. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Sprained my ankle last week. I'm sorry. Still very much relying on meals. I don't understand too much to make. Listen, it sounds good. So, you know, that's all that matters. And I'm very sorry that you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And I hope
gosh.
Finished updating May's spreadsheet. One bingo square done.
Yay!
Nice. Yeah, see, it sounds delicious. Got wrapped. I can't speak today. Got to wrap
the wrap up for Laura's face off book.
It's too early for me to not be able to read comments. Forgot I read 2 books. It truly, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see we'll see. It says I read like 22 books, but I don't know if that's true or not. Need to catch up on my reading. Really happen? I don't think I've touched my reading journal since Realmathon. And I think I just need to accept the fact that like I'm not a reading journal girly, even though every time I watch a video, I'm like, I want to be a reading journal girly. That was entirely too loud. I know in my heart I'm not. I'm a spreadsheet girly.
Yeah. There's not a way to do like a reading journal, a spreadsheet with a little reading journal.
I mean, I could if I did like a digital journal, and I feel like that would probably be a lot easier to do. And I probably could because I was doing a digital one on my old iPad, and it just got to the point where my iPad was so old that it took too long to load the journal.
Yeah,
but it was also like an iPad from like 2017. So maybe with my like new one, it would load faster.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like it probably would be easier to do digital. Because the other thing is that I don't have like a way to like print off the pretty like graphics and stuff. I don't own a printer. So that was another frustrating problem. Right. First month since March that I'm not doing a readathon technically. Yeah. That's like I'm doing mid-year scramble is a readathon, but it's not a readathon. You know what I mean?
It's a just like a chill. It's what readathons used to be before the competitive readathon took over.
That's the thing. Every readathon is either competitive or it's something like a Aurelium where it's not competitive, but you're like still trying to like build on the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's still like it's competitive like with yourself, I guess.
Yeah, they're so complicated.
Right.
Which is like complicated is fun sometimes.
Right. But like you remember when like you had like Booktubeathon. That was like that one was the most challenging thing.
Was like the videos you had to do every day.
No, wait, Booktubeathon wasn't the video one. What was that one called?
No, because remember it started out as Booktubeathon and then they rebranded.
No, but there was another one. Booktubeathon was the one that had like the Instagram challenges that you did every day.
Yeah.
But the one that like Emma was in charge of.
I don't remember.
This is gonna bug me now.
Okay. I just remember that like Jesse from Jesse on YouTube like did 6 videos or 7 videos one year, I think. Yeah. No, that might have been Blackathon. But I remember like because I know a couple like someone built a throne of books and they did a video, like they did daily.
That was
videos.
Emma, wasn't it?
I want to say it was the other Jesse.
Or maybe.
So
hold on, I'm gonna try to find it because I know I did videos of it.
Okay, find it.
Okay, Booktubeathon. What was it? The second year I was on Booktube. Hold on, I'm going through like my very old book videos that are all private.
They called it what? The Reading Rush was what they came up with.
That was what Booktubeathon became.
That's what it became. Yeah. I was trying to remember what the name was.
Not Summerathon. Hold there. Biennial Bibliothon.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I remember doing it. I remember vlogging it.
I don't think I ever did that one.
That one was the one that was, I think that was like the first one I ever did.
Yeah.
But yeah. No obligations in July. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of like real life obligations because I'm gonna have like family, like some form of family in town for like 23 days of the month. And then I'm doing Patreon readathon, but like that one's also super chill.
Yeah.
Hello. Woke up from a nap. That sounds wonderful. Going to play Stardew Valley. Listen to Rolling in the Deep. I love that book. Exactly. All 3 kids eat it without them. That's a win right there.
That would be. The children would get that every single day.
Right. I will have a vlog coming up. That doesn't have a ton of stats. It'll like announce the winners. I have a stat of how many books were submitted throughout the month. But the actual like real in-depth like who won the legs and stuff like that, that's all in a Patreon tell-all for my top tier. That's all like extra stuff. It's not I won't be like publicly submitting that. Yeah. Love watching other people's do their reading journals. Exactly. I get so motivated. Like I was watching Cassidy's today and I was like, oh, I should get my journal back out. And then I'm like, you're going to do it for one night and then you're going to be done again.
Mm-hmm.
My wrap-up is going to be a mess. Didn't do anything for May. I didn't even do a May wrap-up because the only books I read were the ones that I did for my reread and like one other book. That was it. I was like, well, I'm not even doing a wrap up for that. Not an aesthetic reading journal girly. Yeah. And I have because like I do my reviews on Goodreads. And so like I don't need a review journal thing. And then my spreadsheet is so advanced because Allie is amazing. That like it has all the fun stats that I need. So
yeah.
Currently trying to write a readathon for next year that's cozy. Love that. There are so many creative readathons and I love that. Amazing Readathon was super fun. With that being said, this is a readathon I can handle. Exactly. This is like everybody needs
that. That's how that worked out.
Almost said that's me. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Sorry, I knew I had another sprint up a while ago, and I was like, did I accidentally leave another sprint? No, that's just my time. Yeah, Ariel did Booktubeathon that became the Reading Rush. But yeah. Hello. My first readathon was Bookopolython in 2020. Yeah.
I'm sad they decided to like not do Reading Rush anymore, but I also cannot like. I mean, they screw some of this stuff up themselves, but also like.
But also, the creators really aren't super active on BookTube.
Yeah, they're not active on BookTube at all anymore. But I think that that's part of why.
Yeah.
They stepped back from BookTube because like people got mad at them for a prompt, and I was just like, guys, it's a readathon. Just like either do the prompt or don't do the like. I'm sure they would say accommodations are fine. Like would make accommodations because that's what we do for our readathons all the time.
Well, and I think the idea of readathons have changed so much over the years, and like we didn't used to have discords for readathon where you could actually like communicate with the creators of like, hey, can I make this prompt a little bit more accessible for me? Like now it wouldn't be like people don't bat an eye at dropping it in the FAQ of like, hey, I actually can't do it this way. Can I do it this way?
Well, because people could ask on Twitter, but people went just like right to like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this, rather than going, hey, can we do accommodations for people who aren't able to do this?
Right.
So,
yeah, this also
that was
this was a little bit of a miss.
That should have been something where they were like, hey, shit happened for us. We are going to reschedule this for later, especially considering the book they picked.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the spreadsheet that I use is created by Allie over at the Hardback Hoarder, who's on YouTube, and it's like just a digital download that you get from her Etsy store. I think it was $5 or $10 for the spreadsheet, which is totally worth it for all of the formatting that goes into it. But that's the one that I use. There's a lot of different people that have different spreadsheets.
I'm glad she charges for it now because like that's a lot of work for something that people get for free.
100%. And like I had thought about, just because I bought it last year, and then I was like, oh, I could just reformat this myself and then I was like, nah, I'll just pay for it again.
Yeah.
Like, because also I really like the colors this year and like the way that it was formatted and stuff. And there were some things that she added that I was like, I could try to figure that out, but like it's worth the $5 just yeah, G from Book Roast has the Cawpile one. I think Allie has a tab in there for Cawpile.
Cawpile, yep.
Cassidy also has one that does I like a version of Cawpile. It's just that I've been using Allie's for like probably 4 or 5 years now, and that it just everything looks the same every year, and I don't like changing things.
Yep.
So, all right, well, let's do another sprint. I'll see you in 45 minutes. Hello. Hold on. The dogs are being quite loud tonight.
Don't they know you've got stuff to do?
Right? I did not read that sprint because Derek got home and he's hiring for a new position. And so I was snooping on all of the resumes and the screening questions and being like, don't interview this person. And he's like, oh, really? I thought this person would be good. I'm like, nah, this is just 2.0 of the person that you fired. Like, pattern recognition. Very good at it.
That's funny.
And like, I actually probably don't even need to interview these people. I could probably just pick one for you.
That's
Anyway, that's what I did.
one of the benefits of y'all not working at the same place anymore.
Well, he was like, you should apply for it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let me work for you. 1.
Yeah. 2,
my job comes with a company car and I don't pay for gas, which is great. 3, my job is very easy. And while I don't love it, it's very easy. So, anyways, how did your sprint go?
Well, we ate dinner. I've got tasks planned out for the rest of this week and all of next week.
Okay.
Not sure how we're going to do this when I know I'm going to be out of town for a whole bunch of it, but it's fine.
Fair.
I'm like, oh, when am I? Because like my parents wanted it to be a family vacation. I'm like, well, that means I can't just like hide away and edit all afternoon. They're going to actually make me interact.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe I'll just go take a Jess nap.
There you
Be
go.
like, I'm going to take a nap. You guys wore me out.
There you go.
3 hours later, video goes up on my channel.
I mean, you're going to southern Utah in July.
Yeah. And like my dad is planning on getting us up early to hike in the morning at like
it's the
7
only way you can do it. However, have you gotten a permit? B, do they know how hard it is to get into that national park, even with a permit?
I don't know.
Before you guys fly to Utah, you probably should make sure that you have done all this because they won't let you in without one.
Okay, interesting. Because they've been doing some research for it.
Okay, well then they may know what they're doing then.
Yeah, they may know.
Yeah, post-COVID, they changed it to where you're given time slots.
Mm-hmm. They were talking something about that.
Yeah. Because you can't just get into the line.
Hold on, I'll text Mom.
Because people realized how pretty it was in Utah.
Yeah.
Also, which week are you going out?
Next Thursday through Tuesday is when I'll be out.
Hold on. So the 11th?
The 11th through the 16th.
Okay, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I mean, you'll be fine, but like you're missing Pioneer Day.
Oh, good.
Which is just Utah's 4th of July.
Why'd y'all need 2 4th of Julys?
Well, because it's when the Mormons came over the mountain and said, Salt Lake is where we're going to live. And now it's Pioneer Day.
God, main character syndrome much.
Yeah.
I know they've been looking at a couple of different spots, so.
And if you're not LDS, then it's Pioneer Day.
If you're LDS,
it's Pioneer Day. If you're not, it's Pioneer Day. Where you go get a pie and you have a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's on the 25th, 26th, something like that.
I will have been home for quite a while at that point.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Hello. I'm gonna pick a Kindle book tonight. Fun. I finally charged my Kindle. Because I've just been reading on my iPad, which I do love because you can like color code your highlights.
Yeah.
It doesn't have you can't really take it outside in the sun because of the glare.
Because it doesn't have a black.
I'm gonna be at the pool all day tomorrow, so I better charge the Kindle. Like,
that sounds smart.
Yeah, so that's what I did. Because I haven't been I don't think I've really used my Kindle since like before I got my iPad, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine.
With all the SPIFFA books you
did? I did them on my iPad.
Oh.
Also, I don't think I.
You just got the new iPad though, right? Like it was a couple months ago.
It was in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But like the last time I was doing SPIFFA was this time last year.
Yeah, this time. So it would have been a while ago.
Yeah. Because the finalists, when I was reading those, most of those had audiobooks.
Yeah.
But I'm not. These two of mine have audiobooks. It's fine.
My condolences.
It's fine. I'll just read with my eyeballs. like a booktuber.
God, I like a Neanderthal.
Like a Neanderthal.
Having to read with your eyeballs. Like
who does that?
Man.
I truly have I probably can count on both hands the amount of books I have physically read this year. Even though I have read 112 books.
Mm-hmm.
I like my audiobooks. Hello, Jess. Finished making dinner. Are you joining us tonight, or are you just joining from the comments? I don't even remember. I got distracted. That's okay. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Read 43 more pages. I know you said these books would be too cozy, but they are phenomenal. I've heard fantastic things about them.
Yeah.
I just know that they're not a me book. It's fine. Let's have got my girls performance. Kinda, yeah. Maybe a little bit. Pie and beer day, yes. That's what we do. Also, if it's on the 26th, I don't know. I can't remember if it's 25th or 26th. But if it's 26th, that's a Friday, which means I can really have pie and beer day. And not regret it at 5 o'clock the next morning.
That's the key there.
Exactly. Reading I'm glad my mom died. A little over halfway through. Nice. Live not far from St. George in Vegas. Yes. You're close enough. You can have a pie. And a beer. Vegas is just basically St. George South. Exactly. Pie and beer day. I think we're gonna do one more spread.
One more spread. Okay.
No, not really.
No.
Here's the thing. Here's the great, wonderful, terrible thing about YouTube is that if you have a really good month, which June was a very good month for my channel, and then you don't do anything after that, YouTube will punish you. And you will be hidden from existence. And they won't push your content. So you kind of just have to keep going.
Yep.
So I'm being a little bit more graceful with myself. And if content doesn't go up, it's not the end of the world. Unlike in June, it kind of had to because there's a schedule. So yes, and also, but like, I don't know what chill means. Because I have
when you sleep. That's it. That's it. So
yeah.
Chill is when you sleep.
I mean, at least I'm not dreaming about my channel anymore. So that's a win.
Mm-hmm. Was that last month?
Mostly May. Which was when I was still like trying to figure out my medication, so I wasn't sleeping well anyways. And it was just compiled on top of each other. So it's like it's not stressful anymore. It's just like I'm back to holding myself accountable, but like not 1,500 people are not waiting on bated breath for something. That's kind of like my mind.
Clamoring for you to release the next thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm back to like my little world, my little island.
You're back in your own little corner.
That's fair. That's fair. Joining Brittany tomorrow because I'm off work. Fun.
Oh, nice.
I mean, aren't we all off work? Not really. Not everybody, but
Shoot, that means Edna's going to be closed. I need to ask Edna a question for a client.
yeah, you
Forgot that tomorrow's the 4th. I'll have to let her know that we'll have to wait because I know their customer service is going to be closed.
Probably.
So
probably. All right. Well, let's do another sprint. Let me reset the timer. Okay. I will see you all in 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back. You're muted.
I know I'm muted. I was my earbud wouldn't pause.
Oh, that's annoying.
For reasons I don't understand. The month is planned out.
Yay!
So there's that.
I got to 19%.
Ooh, nice.
So I still have quite a bit to read tonight to get to that 50% that I'm trying to get to. But it's reading fast and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, is it great? No. But it's like very much like fantasy The Bachelor.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
Listen. Okay, so I sent you the screenshot of like the conversation that's being had over classics earlier for the group chat, but like books don't have to be great literature for them to be something people enjoy and have a good time reading. You know what I mean? Like one of the points I made is books don't have to be the best writing of that time to be considered a classic from that time, and quite often they're not. They're what was most popular, is what endured the longest. You know?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Well, and like, I mean, even just beyond the idea of like what a modern classic is, I think that there is space in the book world. There's space on your shelves for books that are well written, that tell a good story, that have some sort of like important thing to talk about. But there's also space on your shelves for books that just like are fun.
There's space on your shelf for J.R.R. Tolkien and Terry Pratchett, who are both fantastic writers. They just have very opposite vibes when it comes to fantasy.
But even beyond that, because I feel like Terry Pratchett is still a fantastic.
He is so awesome.
There's space on your shelf for Brandon Sanderson and The Way of Kings, and there's also space for Powerless.
Yeah, you could have both Hunger Games and The 100 on your shelf.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can say the same thing for visual media. I mean, there are movies that are like profound and they are telling a story, and they are like, they will live through the test of time. And then there are ones that are like, that was so dumb, but I had so much fun.
Well, you never know, because sometimes the ones that are like people are like, what the fuck, end up being like these cult classics that people latch onto and have a good time and do like watch alongs every Halloween.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, that's Fourth Wing for you. Like,
I have a feeling we're that one may be a flash in the pan. It was a big thing right now, but in 10 years will anyone be talking
right? But I mean, that's what I'm trying to say, is that like who cares what people think in 10 years? Is it fun today? Great. Did you have a good time reading it? Great.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we, as a, like, not like personally, but just like as the book community, tend to like look down on those fun books.
We get a bit snobby sometimes with our literature.
Yeah.
And we get snobby about the wrong things, right?
Right. But I'm just like, why get snobby? Just like let people read what they are having, because like I would much rather people get so obsessed with ACOTAR or with like insert fun book here that probably won't, you know what I mean, like that isn't the best well-written book. Like, people are reading.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's different when, like, especially like you see those books end up getting shat on so often and they're written by women.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like there are things to be said about like, because there another conversation that's going on in threads is somebody was dumb and opened their mouth about how they don't pay attention to what they read, blah blah blah, and why do people need to do that? And somebody was like, here are the stats, like a publishing company or something, like here are the stats of what happened. And like, But we never get, like, it's funny that we don't get mad about those conversations. We just get mad about, oh, you're right, reading this really silly book.
Yeah. And I think, well, like, and especially
people read silly books.
As people that, like, when you have a platform, you do have to, like, make a conscious effort to read diverse.
You have more responsibility.
Read outside of the one little bubble, but that doesn't mean that you can't read in your little bubble sometimes.
No, absolutely. Find your bubble.
Yeah. Like, if this, like, romantasy trope that, like, is what, like, you find joy in, great. Like, read that. You can probably find that bubble in BIPOC.
I was going to say that bubble can be the gateway to so much more, because tropes transcend genre.
But what I think happens is that we kind of, like, shit on people for, like, you only read this, or you don't, like, when they see a vlog of someone reading a fun book, and you're like, that's, like, we just jump to that conclusion of, like, that's the only thing people read, when it's like, maybe they were just, like, having a bad week and a mental health, and they just needed this comfort.
Yeah, well, like, Rachel has the opposite problem, where people are like, do you ever read books you like? And she's like, I have so many videos.
You're like, the last 3 videos were ones that I love.
That I talk about books that I love. Y'all
a
just
lot of that is just YouTube
them.
pushing negative content.
So, and yeah, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you got to check out the rest of someone's videos to see, like, there will be times, especially when I was trying to find people that could do my readathons, where I would go through people's YouTube and just kind of get an idea of what they read and, like, what they talked about, to get an idea of who they were before I kind of made a decision. It's like, if you're going, oh, does this person only read this? Maybe take a look at the rest of their videos.
Yeah, exactly. But I just, like, I never want someone to feel bad, especially, like, when you come into the chat on Sprints and you're like, oh, I'm reading ACOTAR, and, like, you're like, oh, you're reading this book by a white woman, like, oh,
I will never
basic. You know what I mean? Like,
reading.
Right. And I just, like, I don't ever want someone to feel like they can't talk about the book that they're loving because it's not, I don't know, like, I don't know how to, like, verbalize what I'm trying to say, but, like, I never want to, like, shit on anyone's reading.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, it's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. It's like, you should never feel guilty about what you're reading. Obviously, when
there are a few out there that maybe you should feel a little guilty still.
Well, and I, like, if you don't have a platform, like, whatever, do whatever. And I think when you have a platform, you do have to, like, a little bit of a conscious effort. But, like, when I look at, like, what my books are going to be for July, it's going to be really heavily skewed because I'm reading Spiffbo books that, like, are white then.
My my stats for last year weren't what I would have liked them to be, because typically I try to make sure at least half of what I read, or 50, I read 50 books. My goal is 100 books. Half of what I read is by authors of color.
Right.
But I did the Goodreads Choice Awards.
Exactly. Same.
And I didn't have a great reading year last year. So, like, it was very skewed, and I didn't recognize that until later. But that's something that I'm actively trying to, like, I was like, okay, I need to be paying attention to this again, because I thought I didn't need to pay attention to it, but I keep doing these projects. So I just need to be paying attention, because I have a responsibility to do that and make sure that I'm
but then on the flip side of that coin, like, that's a goal for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's your personal goal, and you would never put that goal on somebody else.
I think there are certain things that, like, we can talk about how, as a society, how things trend.
Correct.
If that makes sense. Like, I think that it's good to talk about, like, not necessarily attack someone. You educate people when you're like, hey, that's really cool, maybe you should try, and, like, suggest something by an author of color that's similar to these other books. But I also think that we can, and because people sometimes take this as being attacked when you start talking about, well, as white readers, we just tend to gravitate towards white authors and see those, and
just because that's what publishing is pushing.
Effort. Yeah. Like, we have to, like, talking about the fact that you do have to make a conscious effort, and it's not great if all you're reading are people who look like you. Like, that's something that you should talk about as a societal level.
Right.
But there are better ways to encourage people to change those habits on a one-to-one or personal level, if that makes sense.
I think for me personally, like it's like I have a goal. I don't have a numbers goal because it tends to just happen. But like for me, like I'm just like I don't want someone to come onto sprints and feel like they're not reading good enough. You know,
there's
that's
no such thing. Read what you want to read. Read what brings you joy. I might have some things to say about the author occasionally, but
right, but like if that's not your personal stance, like great. And I just feel like the world sucks right now. And you gotta just read what makes you happy.
Read what makes you happy, and also read books. Here's something I'll give people something that's find books by activists. Specifically when we're talking about like the political structure in the United States right now and like what's going on in the world. Sometimes listening to their wisdom, even though everything's still shitty and like they're talking about hard stuff, like listening to them go, like I read Freedom is a Constant Struggle, and hearing Angela Davis continually go, this is something we're constantly working on. And that's good. And we've been making these strides. And like she's like, we still got this to go. Like that is so like it really put things in a different perspective for me. Where I was like, oh my God, the world is terrible, but like there's still hope.
Right. And I think if you're in that headspace, that is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But there were like I can tell you times where in like my personal like something happened in my life and I would like to read pure you know what I mean, like what Jess said, like you know sometimes something terrible happens and in order to get out of bed you read a wizard series that you don't talk about on your platform.
No, I know someone who does it every year because that was something that they did with their mom, and they just don't talk about it on their platform.
Exactly.
But I also think there's a big difference between like God, the world fucking sucks and something specific happened to you. Like I would not sit down and go, Brianna, because you've had this terrible grief in your life, I think you should read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette.
Right, exactly.
It'll probably make you feel better. I'll be like, hey, what are you in the mood to read right now?
You want to read some face smut? Because here you go.
Yeah. Do you want something like what was it? I was talking with somebody and they were wanting podcasts or video recommendations on something. I was like, okay, do you want how angry at the world do you want to be?
Right.
Like when you listen to these.
I wasn't reading much when the last really big terrible thing happened, which I'm not going to talk about because it's triggering, but like I wasn't reading then, but the equivalent of that was that I binged Survivor for 3 weeks. Like
it happens,
right? I'm like that's like the book equivalent of that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox now. I just wanted to.
No, you're good.
I feel like there's a lot of discourse. Threads is a very messy place right now.
Yeah. Well, and there's also a big difference between like someone who's like, I just needed something that was nice and great, like something that I knew would bring me comfort, and a difference between someone, well, I just want to read what I want to read. When people are like, hey, have you thought about this? Or when people are talking about not them at all.
Yeah. And like so you have to be in a place that you're open to that too. Yeah,
unfortunately.
Because there are people that are just going to say, I want to read what I want to read. And like, you
know.
And
they're not going to listen.
No. No. I mean, it happened on TikTok last week with the wizard. And someone being like, this was such a nostalgic thing for me. And this is like, I'm not going to stop talking about it.
Listen, I have thought long and hard about what would happen if Rick Riordan pulled a J.K. Rowling. And I'm telling you, that collection would be like, it would not be going anywhere, but it would not be on screen.
Right.
I would probably still read the books because of how much they meant to me. Never talk about them again.
Right. But it's like kind of a scary thing to think about.
Yeah. I'm very lucky in that he is at least on the mostly right side of most of the issues like all of the issues I care about.
Right.
So like there are some things that I'm like, Rick, we could really have a conversation about a little bit, but you know what? We're still like, we agree on the important part. Yeah. Which is that human rights exist.
Exactly. some days the thing my brain wants is IPB, and sometimes it's Pride and Prejudice.
Some days you're
right. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah. Read for escapism. That's the important thing. One of my favorite movies are the dumb fun ones. Exactly. I think people can read what they want in private. It's just a matter of like
I agree with that.
Being conscious of the platform that you have as a content creator.
Yeah, and your responsibility there.
Right, because not everybody that's watching your stuff looks and believes and lives like you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not making your platform a hospitable place if you're not being inclusive in your reading.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, for some people, my platform is an inhospitable space, and that is on purpose. But no, you're right. Like, be inclusive.
Right. For the other reason. Yeah. And this is true. Like, giving people grace. Because sometimes, like, and I feel like there's a lot of people that haven't done the work to, you know, and that's okay. Like, it's not... We not everybody can do it on our timeline, if that's what I'm trying to say. But that's also the thing. Like, if you find that someone is not being inclusive in their reading, or not, like, you know, I have unsubscribed from anyone that still talks about Harry Potter. Yeah. Like, if in their Twitter bio it still has their house, like, you're automatically unsubscribed, because you know at this point the damage that series has done and what she has done. Yeah. But that's just my personal thing. Like, I am no longer going to follow your content.
Yep. That's definitely a red flag for me. Or, like, I'm a lot harder line on it now than I was. But, like, there was a point where I was like, if you're still talking about this, I'm watching what you're talking about on other content too.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's just like yeah. I think what you read and why you read it are closely related. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, most of them, like, especially if you're not, like, if I keep going back to, like, if you're not a content creator, then, like, read what you, like, because you don't have that platform. You don't have to, like, create a space for other people. Yeah. Yeah. Uncle Rick would never.
I mean, there have been a couple of, like, he doesn't have the best, not the best, but he could be better about what he has been known to say about Palestine. Like, he at least admitted it was hardline, this is a genocide, but also he believes in the 2-state solution, from what I understand, which is not a viable solution.
No, but, like, again, not everybody is, like, honestly, you'll probably never find an author that aligns with you 100% on everything.
No, absolutely not. And like, for me, the thing is, like, if you can admit a genocide as a genocide and, like, we need to stop the person doing this, I can work with you from there. Mm-hmm. Like, also, this is not
Leandra, I agree. Healing and coping. Also, like, that's the thing. Like, first and foremost, like, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't... I feel like people feel kind of like bottlenecked into, well, I have to read this popular nonfiction that everyone is talking about, even though it's like, that's not what you would normally read. You're reading it because you feel like you should. Also, hello. Anyways, I got onto a soapbox.
If we content create ever reading a book.
Yes. Yeah. If we are ever reading a book that excludes a group. Yes.
Well, it's so funny because so often, like, when you see people really talking about something that happens in a book, they're like, we just want you to acknowledge that it happens and let people know that this is something that's not okay when you review this book.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like, there have definitely been times that are like, no, you probably don't want to. You probably, like, there are better books out there to read that don't have this content, but
yeah,
I wouldn't suggest reading this one, you know?
But also, like, I'm not going to, outside of Harry Potter, I'm not going to judge people for reading, reading books.
My brother, they were talking about One Piece the other day, and I've been watching it blow up on YouTube, and it's a manga that I refuse to read because I'm like, the artist himself has not done anything that we know but we know that he is still good friends with and supports a man who is convicted of pedophilia. Like he had the author had so much child porn when they went to raid his house in Japan that they thought he was a distributor.
Oh my gosh.
So like it's one of those things I was like, bro, he's like, so he's guilty by association. I was like, well, the fact that he thinks that this is okay concerns me. And it's like, maybe if I had fallen in love with One Piece when I first read it, we would be having a different conversation, but there are so many other mangas out there for me.
Right.
So like, I don't want to spend my time reading that, especially with as many chapters as is out there.
You're like, this is a commitment and not one I really want to make.
Yeah. Like, yeah, and it's funny because I don't think a lot of people know that on BookTube about him.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not that we know. I mean, it's not that we know anything that he personally has done that is wrong. It's just that he is excusing this behavior from someone else.
Yep.
So,
I mean, there's always a balance, like a fine line of you know what to talk about on your channel and what not to. And listen, I mean, there's authors that like I've read and have reviewed, and then like later it comes out that they're not great, and it's like, cool, what do I do with this now?
Oh yeah, well, so it's really weird because stuff just like people are reporting on Neil Gaiman having accusations just thrown against him.
Right.
But like the only source currently is a podcast that doesn't source where they got these from.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things that I'm like, I 100% believe that this could have happened. But also, if everyone is linking back to the same source, that feels sketchy to me because I see a lot of right-wing people do that. I was literally just listening to a podcast where they were talking about a study that was done on trans kids and their families. And of course, they didn't talk to the kids, they talked to the parents. But everything was linking back to this one website. And it turned out all of the families in that study were involved in that website and members of that website. And he'd just been taken out.
Yeah.
Like, what I know about information and what I want to say about Believe Women are in conflict right now.
Yeah. Well, and like the thing is that like in a world of social media, where your entire life is on the internet in one way, shape, or form or the other, and things that you say that like 30 years ago you could have said something and like 20 people might have found out about it, but it's not on Twitter, so like it's not gonna go viral.
Yeah.
Now things are just they blow up.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think there's a place for some nostalgia reading. I also think that it's good for us as readers to stretch ourselves, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Especially
if you're in the headspace for it.
Yeah. Sometimes I stress myself even when I'm not. But like, I think
like in the instance that we were talking about our friend that reads The Wizard every year, like she's not in the headspace to stretch herself in that time period.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like it's not, there's just certain things. Like if I was reading in the time that I was binging Survivor instead, like I would not have been in the headspace to stretch myself.
Yeah, no.
It's, you got to take care of yourself at the heart of it. But anyway, I'm glad you found Dinosaur Sanctuary.
It is so cute. We were talking about, the two of us were talking about the fact he's got a little map. He's got a little map.
Also, Witchlings. It's great. It's a great.
Yes, Witchlings is great.
Yeah.
Also read Ghost Squad because that's a fantastic book as well. It's like one of the few middle grades where like it makes sense that the kids are the ones doing the stuff. Like it's not some random teacher going, "Oh yes, because you are the chosen one, you must solve this." It's like them going, "I'd love to help you, but you're the ones that did this, so it's got to be you that undo it."
Nope. Also, I hope that you're loving Alatsue.
I need to read Alatsue.
You've never read it?
It's been on my TBR so many times. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. Brianna is currently judging me.
A little bit. A little bit. Wasn't it like a group? Wasn't it a buddy read for, or like the group book for Avengers?
No, but it was so it was really popular one of the years that Thor and Bear did Indigathon, like either the first or second year.
Yeah, but I remember reading it for Avengers, so maybe it was just like a book that.
Yeah, you might have read it for Avengers, but I don't think it was never one of our group books.
Interesting. Good. Yeah.
I think it's
exactly.
I think it's very different when you got that tattooed on your body when you thought a different thing about the woman.
Also that. Also, Jeff. I'm judging you a little bit too. A little bit. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock here, so we're gonna.
Yeah, I need to. My brain said maybe I should go to bed. I mean, you're not currently working for Brianna, so I don't think she can fire you.
I can't fire you, but I can judge you a little bit. Just a little bit of judgment.
Maybe if it was still June 30th. And I can't fire you for having not read a book that I also haven't read. That'd be very critical.
Otherwise, you have to fire yourself.
So,
anyways, thanks for hanging
I
out.
should fire myself.
And I don't know when I'm sprinting next. I'm gonna have Patreon sprints on Sunday, but other than that, I don't know when I'm sprinting.
Yeah,
I take a week off.
Okay. Sprinting at some point.
I imagine Saturday. I imagine Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sprinting at noon on Saturday.
All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.